And ladies and gentlemen, I am Rick Godley, and this is kind of like the first edition of what I have in my mind is taking it to the streets, Coifee Toik, ATL-Ruston.com, ATL-Ruston.com. I encourage you to bookmark that page because it's all things local is being mirrored right now, all things Lincoln. ATL stands for all things local, ATL, all things Lincoln. And we are at PJ's Coffee Shop. Let me throw Bobby Mounts up in the corner there on the left side. And what we are doing here this morning, for those that have seen this person to my left, your right, her name is Kris Barney with DART, the Domestic Abuse Resistance Team. We've done 3 episodes so far at various and sundry locations, with the most recent one at the Butterfly Garden in Ruston. And so last Friday, when I said to Kris, I said, it's time to do another episode, she said, what about getting the beard mob involved? And I'm like, I don't know. Do I owe them money? Are they extortionists? And no, but I have been following her on Facebook and DART because they raised a lot of money for DART. But before we get there, Kris, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I am doing well as well. And yeah, time flew by because last time you and I talked, one time we set it up at Common Goods.
Yes.
And did a talk there, and she had an ambitious goal. This was back in January. I have to talk 2 more times or 3 more times this month. Well, you're rapidly accelerating. So let's do the Kris Barney tour of where you're going to speak about Domestic Abuse Resistance Team. And by the way, it knows no age, no phase, no stage, no color, no creed. Anyway, and so where are you going to be speaking?
Okay. Let's see. So, what are we in? We're in March. I've been invited. Well, I actually spoke at the Beard Mob Festival and shared a little bit of my story. I was asked to share a little bit of my story and talk about DART. I am speaking to the Louisiana Tech women's soccer team and their tennis team and bowling team. I've spoken to Alpha Chi Omega at Louisiana Tech. I'm speaking in Homer on the 17th. Our rural advocate has set up a gathering of her people for me to talk with them and about a little bit of my story and about DART and what we do.
Right.
And then I'm going to go to Alexandria, and Jeff Landry's office has invited me to speak to their firearms divestiture training.
Well, and for the sake that folks don't know who Jeff, that's the Attorney General for the state of Louisiana.
Yes, for the state of Louisiana.
So, and I stop you only to say that anywhere, any place, anytime, including churches that Kris is willing to go to address this, because the reason why dark issues stay in the dark is nobody exposes them to the light, and so you're a light bringer.
That's right. That's right. And I will speak to any organization or anyone who wants to educate their employees or the public on the different dynamics of domestic violence and what DART does in our community to serve our survivors and their children.
By the way, if this is the day that you make the decision to get out, this is the Get Out Now phone number. DART is ready and equipped to take care of you and your children from a volatile, dangerous, potentially lethal situation. 888-411-1333. Again, 888-411-1333. And the thing about that number too, Kris, if somebody has questions, please ask. And they could be somebody who is in a volatile situation or somebody who knows somebody. And ignorance, people, if you're concerned, act. Explain that.
Yes. If you are concerned, ask. And call our office. Even if you're terrified, we had someone call or email us and absolutely terrified, and all we have to do is reach out and let them know what we offer and how we can get them safe. We have a shelter, an emergency shelter that you can go to almost immediately, and we just offer so many amazing things, especially for immediate assistance.
Well, and here's something, as you know, and the person who is in the situation thinks there is no way out, trapped, and no hope. That is not the case.
That is absolutely not the case.
But it's hard for them to understand that in this situation. But
exactly, it is, and especially when you have children. But I'm a prime example of that there's hope and resiliency in life after abuse. There's always a way out, and safety and hope.
Well, and again, touch on Miranda, if you will, because you have a butterfly on?
I do. I wear butterflies all the time.
Because, yes, here's somebody who literally knows, and, because there are those, she doesn't understand what situation, no, she has an understanding of that situation.
I absolutely do. I used to be married to a Bossier City firefighter. Was in the throes of abuse, especially after I decided to end the marriage. The abuse escalated, and ultimately, domestic abuse is about power and control, and he felt himself losing control of me, and he ultimately, killed our little girl. Her name was Miranda, and she was only 3. And even though this is one of the things I love to share because it's so important about my story is that his name is Charles, and he never physically abused me. His MO was planting the seed of fear. He was also a Bossier City firefighter, which gave him a lot of power.
Right.
And so your abuser does not have to physically harm you to kill you.
To control you, suffocate you, and so you're exactly right.
Exactly. The threat is always there. They can threaten, but that threat is real.
Kris, Barney, our guest, is the community advocate. We're at PJ's Coffee Shop on this, which happens to be Pie Day, and we may have to get some pie. Do you know what pie is? 3.14, yes. 22/7, happens to be March 14th. But what we're here for is when I said to Kris, it's time to do another episode, she said, let's get the Beard Mob folk in there. And I said, the who, the what? And so why don't you tell us or tell them what you thought a Beard Mob was before you actually met the mob of Beard.
Well, after doing my research and checking them out, it's a wonderful group of men, women, and children who get together, and they have these amazing beards, and it's a nonprofit. They're a nonprofit organization and they choose a charity of their choice every year, and they raise money and donate to these charities. And not only that, I did a little bit more research, and they get out. They've adopted a road. They get out on the highway and they clean up. They do great things for our community.
Right.
And they may be intimidating and look scary, but I have never met a group of men, especially the men, because that means a lot to me, that with the biggest hearts and so much love, and my goodness, the bear hugs are amazing.
She said bear hugs, not beard hugs. But,
beard hugs and bear hugs.
Well, yes. What we have here this morning, by the way, the gentleman to Kris's left is Danny Purdy. He's the man who got volunteered for this. He showed up, yes. and so, well, Danny, first of all, good morning, my friend. Introduce yourself.
Good morning. I'm Danny Purdy. I grew up and lived in Calhoun my whole life. Worked for Louisiana Tech and Sergeant in Arms for the Beard Mob of Louisiana.
Beard Mob of Louisiana. So that is the Calhoun chapter. Does that mean there are other chapters in the state of Louisiana?
Actually, for Beard Mob, there's only one right now. We cover the whole state at the moment.
Nice. The
really,
whole
huh?
state.
Yeah.
So you say you're from Calhoun originally. I have written down here, it is the place where there are no city limits, no beginning, and no end. And the downtown is centrally located nowhere. Where does Calhoun start and end?
If you know, tell me.
No, I know. I kid you not. All right, so Danny, talk about when it came up in the group, because it is a nonprofit organization, a benevolent organization. When you found out about DART, what was your thoughts? Were you aware of who they are and what they did at first? But you're probably way more aware now.
I had no idea at first, but we had our business meeting one month, and we was getting ready to plan our big competition for this year. We was going to pick a charity, so everybody named a charity, and everybody voted for DART, and that's when done a little digging, started learning more about it and all that. Yeah.
Seems like we were investigating each other.
Well, and that's, we got to do that. Always investigate and find out and get a little deeper. That's how you build a relationship. And now there's a relationship going. Yeah. And again, it's not about the money, but it's about the money. You raised over $10,000. How'd you do that?
We just put on this big charity event. It's a beard competition. We got 16 different categories. People pay to enter a category. Then we have a raffle table. We had like 6 tables full of raffle items. People buy tickets to see if they can win a raffle item. Mm-hmm. We do auctions during our intermissions during the competition. And
you call this Mob Fest, correct?
This was Mob Fest 5. It's usually the first weekend in March.
Okay.
We do it every year.
So it was just recently?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if this was March 14th.
It was March 5th? March 5th?
Yeah.
Saturday.
Fourth.
Well, it's, they go on for a few days.
Well,
I can only handle one.
Usually a beard competition starts Friday, then ends Sunday, but Mob Fest, it's kind of, best way to explain it is like the Super Bowl for the beard mob group. Everybody comes to Louisiana for Mob Fest.
Does anybody cheat growing a beard or...
How would you cheat growing a beard?
I mean, the human condition is like, how can I mean...
People have been accused of using clip-ons sometimes.
Oh.
I'm not going to say any names, but...
Go ahead and call them out, man. Call them out. All right, so Mob Fest happened on the 5th. Where?
It was in Calhoun, Louisiana, in our president's backyard. This happened in the backyard.
For 3 days, and you went.
I went.
What's your takeaway from Mob Fest? Well, first of all, you went out there and spoke to them, didn't you?
I did, yeah. So they invited
touch
me
on that before we go to Mob Fest.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'm going to share the stories real quick because I was in the hair salon getting my hair done when I was told that John Fontenot, whose house this was held at, might want me to share my story. Please give him a call. And because I was under the impression that I was just going to go and represent DART, and I was not planning on staying the whole day. I brought my family, and then I talked to John, and he's like, "Yes, I want you to." And at first I was like, "John, I don't know, because this is a festival. This is a family event, and you're happy, and you're having a lot of fun, and I don't want to put a damper on the mood." And he's like, "No." He was insistent. "I want you to share your story." And so I said, "Okay, here we go." And so I spent. So I got out of the chair and called Terry, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to do this." And then we went, and my whole family spent the day with these amazing people.
So that was at Mob Fest. Now, when Beard Mob of Louisiana, you'd adopt an organization for the year, or just this one-time event?
It's just usually for this one event.
I got you.
Each club usually does one big event every year, and we go off to other states and help them with their charities, and they come and help us with ours. So it's just there's usually a beard comp going on somewhere in the United States every weekend.
That's amazing. I mean,
somewhere in the United States, there's a beard comp going every weekend.
And there were a lot of people there from out of state.
Yes.
How many states? You had a list of states that came in. Over 12 or
There's
so?
like 12 different states
that
represented. They come
cool.
from California, Washington State. There's a couple that drove from New York. There's another couple that drove from Montana.
He almost said that with a little disdain. A couple came from New York. No. All right, so what did you enter in your beard for Mob Fest? Did you?
I didn't enter this year because they had me running around behind the scenes, helping everybody out, keeping everything moving smoothly.
Right.
So I didn't compete.
How does somebody going forward, because we'll set up another time to have Beard Mob on. Maybe I'll even come to Calhoun if I can find it.
It's right up the road.
Don't blink or you'll miss it.
No, I know. But to talk about other folks of joining the Beard, how does one become a member of Beard Mob LA?
We've got everything is basically done on Facebook. You have to, let's see, how do I say it? You have to be interested in it, and you have to reach out to like the president of the chapter, whatever state you're in, and they'll add you to the group. Then there's like a 6-month probation period, and then you got to go to meetings and all this stuff.
What are they on probation for? I mean,
they have to make sure that you are who you
that's
say
good.
you are.
No,
we accept everybody, but there is some you really don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're like their logo: any race, any color, any belief.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just add to that, because this is one of because John asked me when I talked to him on their Wednesday get-together, what was one of my favorite things about Mob Fest when I went. And what I loved and noticed immediately was that there was no talk of religion and no talk of race, no talk of politics. And what I noticed too is that everybody was very careful. Of course, I don't think you have to be careful with this group. You just don't talk about that kind of stuff, it's inclusive and so incredibly welcoming. I mean, just amazing group of guys.
Awesome.
And ladies.
Awesome. Well, all right. So this is Kris Barney, community advocate. We want to put her to work to speak more, to shed the light in where. By the way, Dart, you said Homer. 8 parishes you serve?
We serve 7 parishes.
7 parishes.
Yes.
So that includes Lincoln Parish. The base is out of Lincoln, but Homer, Bienville Parish, Jackson Parish, Wynn Parish, I even think Rapides?
Union, not
Union?
Rapides.
Okay, not Rapides.
Union Grant.
And again, the number is 888-411-1333, 888-411-1333. Danny, Yukon Purdy, I'm finally getting the connection here. I'm trying to see if I'm picking up why you're Yukon. It's Yukon Cornelius?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Bingo.
Yes.
Really? Can you do that? Do you have a pickaxe?
I don't have the full outfit yet, but I'm working on it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I do.
What's next for the Beard Mob? I mean, you had your big extravaganza the first week in March. What's the rest of the year hold?
I think the next competition, we did one last year for the Harley dealership in Monroe.
Right.
It was on National Beard Day. They wanted us.
And when is National Beard Day?
There's a National Beard Day?
I know.
I didn't know it either, but I can't remember the date now.
Right.
But they wanted us. It wasn't very big. Like 5 people showed up, but we're going to try to make that a little bit bigger and better every year. So we're going to try to do that again.
You know, in this day and age as well, we have a tendency to look at numbers as if the numbers are the main thing, and the more the merrier. I understand that, but it's the quality of the people versus the quantity of the people. And so, and by the way, somebody had told me this in my past. It's like, you never fail on the first attempt of doing an event. Yeah, because the first one's done. Yeah. You just grow from there.
That's right. That's good. Yes.
All right. What else could we say on behalf of Beard Mob LA?
If you're interested, just look up on Facebook Beard Mob or Beard Mob Louisiana. We got our Louisiana page. Just reach out. You can find me on Facebook, Dan Yukon Purdy. Just send me a message and we'll hook you up.
And my whole family, we're now members.
Oh.
Well, we're not members, but we're all a big part of this group now, and it's fun. It's great, guys.
Yeah, she couldn't leave if she wanted to now.
I know.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of gleaning that, and I feel sucked into that realm myself, because all this transpired, oh, by the way, last Friday, and I'm kind of guessing it had to be at 11 o'clock. This whole thing came together, right? I mean, when I called you, you came down to the Bike Smith and said, well, why don't we talk about Beard Mob? So
well, here's the other thing, too. Exactly. I popped down there. We talked about it. We were thinking, what can we do for March?
Right.
I said, Beard Mob, let's do it. And I'm also submitting an article today to be in the Sunday paper, this coming Sunday, that I wrote on my experience with the Beard Mob Festival and the people there, and how wonderful it was.
That'll be in the Ruston Daily Leader, and it'll be posted up, I would dare say, on the Facebook page for DART. I would think. Don't know.
I would think. I don't know. We just got our digital account back up and running for the Ruston Leader. And so I can most definitely, it will be shared on the dark page. So.
All right, so here we are on March 14th. What's your goal for speaking engagements? Have you exceeded that?
I have, if I counted correctly for this month, in January I was thinking maybe I had like 3 or 4. Well, this month I have got like 7 or 8.
Good.
For this month already, and
Good.
then already have some set up for April as well. So I'm just out there plugging along. And
you're out there, all right.
Yes, I am out there, and it's fun.
No. It's very serious. It's very sobering. It's very somber. The issue's very real. So, folks, be as transparent as you can, because when somebody's transparent, then they become dangerous. That means they're hiding nothing.
Right.
So let's all be transparent. Help Kris. Help whomever else out that is out there that is going to either watch this later on. This number is toll-free, 888-411-1333. That could be the number that you use to say, today's the day I'm getting out of the situation I find myself in. And by the way, I think that's a national number, right? That I know is toll-free.
It is our crisis line.
It's your crisis line, but...
Right.
I mean, since now we're online, though, this could reach anybody in the United States or you know what I'm saying? So they could use that number and they will get help.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's what I mean.
But let me just say this. That is not the national network, the national domestic violence hotline.
I got it.
That's just our local crisis line. Okay?
Right.
But if someone were to call from California and say, can you help me?
They would be plugged in and
yes.
I got it. Awesome. Well, Danny, thank you so much, man. You did
Appreciate
so well.
It.
You did so well for being volunteered for this.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Danny.
Danny came in and said, I'm really nervous. I said, well, great, let's have some coffee.
Just ramp it up some.
And by the way, I do want to thank Bobby and Christy Mounts, PJ's Coffee, right here on Farmerville Avenue, exit 86, 1 block up, right behind Rick Breen's Express Lube, for allowing us to set up here. Bobby involved and active in the community. Once a month, he sets aside a Saturday. He did that for Buddy Ball in February. So you want to support those who support local. So PJ's Coffee in Ruston. ATL-Ruston.com. Bookmark that page for all things local. We'll keep you up to date, business-wise, otherwise, nonprofit-wise, event-wise, now even sports-wise. ATL-Ruston.com. And till next time.
Till next time.
Till next time, Danny.
Till next time.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Help us help more. You know what to do. Like, share, and push the word out there. Thank you so much.